Bashem Kakodash.
A double honor to the apostles, the elders, salutations to you, sincere brothers, teaching a truth and in sincerity. Hey, for this topic, we're just going to go into Revelation, the 18th chapter. All right?
Book of Revelation 18:1.
And y'all bring out the mental precepts as well.
And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power.
Right.
And the earth was lightened with his glory.
Go ahead.
And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen.
Babylon the Great is fallen. So modern day Babylon is what? America. All right? America is modern day Babylon. All right? How do you know? Think about the philosophies that America pushed. It has a Babylonian twist or an objective. All right? You got something wrong?
I'll read that over. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, is fallen.
Now this is going into the destruction and the post-destruction of America. All right, yeah, let's link it all up, bro.
And this Isaiah 24:10.
Right.
The city of confusion
The
is
city of confusion. What's the city of confusion? America. Go ahead.
the city of confusion is broken down.
It's broken down. How so? Isaiah 95.
Like you were saying about Babylon, Babylon goes to the Hebrew word babal, which means confusion, chaos, disorder. That's the type of vibration here in America being ran by Esau Edom, you know?
Every house is shut up.
Right. Every house is shut up. Why? Because Babylon is destroyed. So therefore, all the houses will be destroyed. Go ahead.
That no man may come in.
And no man can come in. Now jump to Isaiah 95 and 96.
It's Isaiah 95,
Right.
for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise.
Right, so every battle of the warrior was confused noise. So you've seen like 300 and things of that nature. All these ancient battles, you have the spear, you have the sword, and so on and so forth. But this battle is going to be a little bit different. Go ahead.
And garments rolled in blood,
Right.
but this,
See, these ancient battles were more so hands-on. All right, but not this battle. It's going to be different.
war cries.
Right, the battle cries, the war cries. Go ahead.
It says, but this should be with burning fuel or fire.
This should be with burning and fuel of fire. Going back to that second precept, my Tazman pulled out how Babylon is going to be destroyed. All right, now jump back to this book.
Back in Revelation 18, starting at verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, has become a habitation of devils.
Right, this is the post-destruction. All right, to prove that, is that Isaiah 34? Yeah? No, just get to the point, bro. Talks about the confusion. Hey, you can start at verse 7. You know what? No. Let's start at verse 9.
This Isaiah 34:9. And the steam thereof should be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof should become a burnt pitch.
Right, a burning pitch, and this is the aftermath of what? Nuclear fire. All right, nuclear fire can cause this. Continue that.
All right, verse 10. It should not. Verse 10. It should not be quenched night nor day.
Right, it is referring to America. Okay, go ahead.
The smoke thereof should go up forever.
Post-destruction. All right, and now forever is just talking about a long period of time. Go ahead.
For generation to generation.
From generation to generation. Go ahead.
And it should lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever.
Meaning what? That America, all right, this demographic would never be habited. All right, no man or woman or child will ever live upon this demographic ever again.
That's right. No, it's going to be a monument. You got it.
That's it. Okay. Keep going.
Like verse 11. But the cornmeal and the brick bitterness shall possess it.
Meaning what? These are desert-like creatures. All right. Now these animals, these creatures will live in America post-destruction. Go ahead.
And the owl also, the raven shall dwell in it.
Right, creatures and not people. Go ahead.
And it is stretched out upon it.
Right.
The line of confusion and the stone of emptiness.
Now it states the line of confusion, meaning what? You're not going to be able to tell Mississippi from Alabama. All right? So you know how the line separates all the 50 states and so on and so forth? After America is destroyed, you're not going to tell where California used to be at. All right? Or Kentucky, or Wyoming, or Idaho, and etc., or Illinois. Go ahead, bro.
All right, verse 12. They should call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there.
Right, because why? It's destroyed. Go ahead.
And all the princes shall be nothing.
Right, keep going.
Verse 13.
Right.
The thorns shall come up, the palaces.
Now this is a process of time after America has been destroyed. What's going to happen? Thorns shall come up. So it's basically going to look like a fucking desert.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Her palaces, needles, and brambles,
Brambles. Yeah.
and the fortress thereof, and it shall be in habitations of dragons and of course of owls.
Right. So look at America now, and this is going to be America later, man.
Yeah.
All right. America now, you can get with this or you can get with that. All right.
That movie Planet of the Apes, they called it, the first one that came out, they called it the Forbidden Zone.
Right. You know, when my boy say you did it. All right.
And this Isaiah 14 and 22. If I will rise up against them, said the Lord of hosts, and cut out from Babylon a name, a remnant, and son and nephew.
And that's nuclear destruction. All right, cut off meaning what? America will be utterly destroyed. All right, that's what desolate means, utterly destroyed. And now the only thing that can do that is a plague such as nuclear fire that Yahweh Shem is going to send upon America. Go ahead.
Said the Lord, I will also make a possession for the bitter.
I will also make a possession, meaning what? The bittern, which is a desert-like creature, is going to live here. Go ahead.
And pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction.
Meaning now when you're sweeping something with the besom of destruction, you're actually into like a sweeping format. So once that nuclear destruction actually takes place in America, it's going to look like America is being swept by the weight of a broom. Go ahead.
Jeremiah 51:1. Thus said the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them.
Modern day America. And who are the ones that dwell in America? The Americans, which is also a melting point. You have all different nations within America, and they're here to be judged. Only the elect will be protected within America.
In the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind.
A destroying wind. And what's that destroying wind? That's nuclear fire.
Right.
All right? That's something?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I did Jeremiah 50 and 14.
Right.
Put yourself in array against Babylon.
And how they're doing that? These are these other countries in military formations, man. All right? Military formations. Go ahead.
Round about.
And while they're in these military formations, to shoot off nuclear fire. Go ahead.
All that ye that bend the bow.
All that ye that bend the bow, meaning what? These countries that have what? Nuclear capability, man. Go ahead.
Shoot at her.
Shoot at her. Also with these arrows. All right? Nuclear weaponry. Go ahead.
Spare no arrows.
Spare no arrows. So every missile that is created will be utilized. Go ahead.
For she has sinned against Yahweh.
For she has sinned. So because America has sinned for being that harlot, that great whore, what's going to happen? The Most High is going to bring that plague, which is also judgment, such as nuclear fire. Go ahead, my brother.
Jeremiah 50 and 12. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bear
your mother, Great Britain.
Right.
You came out of Great Britain.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. She that bear you shall be ashamed.
Right.
That's the point.
Uh-huh.
Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness.
The hindermost of the nation. Hindermost means what? In. Yeah. What is that talking about? America shall be a wilderness. How so? Nuclear destruction. Going into that third woe spoken of in Revelation. All right. Hey, the second woe is past, but the third woe come quickly. All right. Go ahead, bro.
A dry land and a desert.
A dry land and a desert. So what would make America a dry land and a desert? Nuclear fire, man. Nuclear fire. That's what these missiles was created to do. to be utilized to destroy America. Jump to Revelation 17 chapter, last verse. That's the boy? All right. Revelation 17, bro. Then we're going to go back to Revelation 18 chapter 2. Yep. Oh, yeah. It talks about the yep. Mm-hmm.
And it's Revelation 17 and 18.
Right.
And the woman which thou sawest is the great city.
Now, Yashina just did a video yesterday going into this woman. The woman is what? America. All right, now at this time frame, the Most High is making her dress come upward. Now we see the shame. Now we see her nudity, which is going into her shame. How so? Because the Most High is utilizing that wind, which is the Holy Spirit. And because of the Holy Spirit, her red dress is lifted up. And we see all the wicked deeds America has done to our people and how they have led these other countries to error, which is what? Sin. And therefore, for being that great whore, that well-favored harlot, she has to be spanked. Go ahead, my brother.
All right, I got two verses in this chapter. Jeremiah 51 and 11. All right. Make bright the arrows.
Make bright the arrows. This is nuclear weaponry. Go ahead.
Gather the shields.
Gather shields. Go ahead.
Yahweh have raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes.
So the Most High has put it in these countries' mindset to destroy America at the appointed time. All right. So the EU is going to turn on America, Russia, China, North Korea, and so on and so forth. Go ahead, bro.
For his device is against Babylon to destroy it.
So his device is against Babylon to destroy it. What device? Nuclear fire. Go ahead.
Because it is the vengeance of Yahweh, the vengeance of his temple.
It is the vengeance of the Most High. And you can't get around it. I had an Edomite to tell me back in the day that America just had these weapons just to scare people. No. America is going to use nuclear capability as well. But for prophecy's sake, we understand via the Holy Spirit that America is going to be destroyed. All right? That's what I'm saying?
Yeah, come. I kind of missed it. It's in this chapter. All right, Jeremiah 51:29, and the land shall tremble in sorrow, for every purpose of Yahweh shall be performed against Babylon.
Every purpose of Yahweh shall be performed, meaning what? Achieved, attained, and what? Ultimately for America to be destroyed. Go ahead.
To make the land of Babylon a desolation without inhabitants.
And when you go into that term again for desolation, it means what? Utterly destroyed, utterly empty. Okay, only nuclear fire can bring this aftermath. Go ahead.
So read that previous verse. Okay. I'm sorry, you want me to come back to 11, the first one? Okay, you ready for it? Jeremiah 51:11. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahweh have raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. For his device is against Babylon to destroy it.
And who's the Medes? The modern day Medes are Russia. Okay, Russia has what? Nuclear capability. Russia is that bear that's going to attack America. Go ahead.
I got a quick link up with that device. Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created a smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument.
These are your nuclear scientists. The instrument is what? These nuclear missiles.
Because he said he raised the spirit of the kings of the Medes. So how does that manifest in today's time? They have these nuclear facilities.
That's right.
They're dealing with the elements of the earth and use the elements to make thermonuclear destruction, man. Like you said, the scientists.
That's right. That's right.
You know?
That's right.
It says, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work.
For his work. Go ahead.
And have created the waster to destroy.
The waster to destroy. What's the waster to destroy? Nuclear capability. And it's the same technology used to destroy what? Sodom and Gomorrah. Now it's just been basically put inside of these nuclear missiles.
This is the guy, Edomite, Robert Oppenheimer. So he became the destroyer of worlds.
Right.
He's known as the father of nuclear physics. Yep, nuclear physics.
All right, go back to Revelation. Yes, sir. 18. Did you do Revelation 17? Yeah, go ahead.
All right, Jeremiah 51:37. And Babylon should become heaps, a dwelling place for dragons.
Right. Babylon shall become heaps, a dwelling place for dragons. And this is post-destruction from nuclear fire. All right, this is what the prophets was prophesying. All right? So when you think about these ships standing afar off, it's not talking about basically at this time frame right now.
What's going on these
Yeah.
different ports and
No, that has nothing to do with it. All right, this is actually talking about going into the destruction of America. Because these merchants is making great money from this whore.
That's why I say they're gonna be empty.
Yeah.
So they put like dust upon their heads, they're gonna be in a state of mourning because they cannot suck that breast no more. That's
right.
America's riches, you know.
Which further proves that this system still will be exercised on earth. All right, because these people are still going to be able to make money. So, of course, they're going to receive the jab as well as the knockout punch. All right? Go ahead,
All right, Jeremiah 51:37 again. And Babylon shall become heaps, a dwelling place of dragons, and astonishment and hissing without an inhabitant.
And astonishment. All right? You're going to be like, wow, did
Yep.
you see this shit?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. All right? And guess what? It's going to be televised.
Because you remember how the towers got knocked down allegedly, right?
Man.
How people were looking when it happened?
Yeah, astonished.
They were astonished.
Astonished.
Wow.
That's just one city.
There was two buildings,
2 years.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. You must not fight.
Yeah, this linked up that desolation with Esau. This is Joel 3:19. It said, Egypt shall be a desolation.
Egypt. What's modern day Egypt? America. All right?
Because the original Egypt is still a tourist attraction.
That's right.
So it can't be talking about that.
Good point.
Millions of people go to Egypt to see those the relics of the pyramids. man.
Good point. Good point. And where are the desert-like creatures? If that's talking about ancient
Right.
Egypt. You're right, bro.
Revelation talks about spiritual Sodom of Egypt.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it's a spiritual Sodom and Egypt, meaning what? You have to be assisted by the Holy Spirit in order to understand it.
Yep.
Go ahead. bro.
Reading on. Joel 3:19. It said, Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land.
Now, what scripture do you think about? Numbers 35 and 33. This is how this great whore is going to be cleansed by nuclear fire. And guess what? She will never rebound, okay, ever again. You know, and Esau had the concept of the phoenix. You know, how they're going to rise from the ashes and rebuild. Hell no.
That period over, man.
Yeah. Hey, what Ephraim be saying? No, it's him. Not good.
Ezekiel chapter 28 and verse 17. Thine heart was lifted up because of thy beauty. Thou hast corrupted thy wisdom by the reason of thy brightness. I will cast thee to the ground. I will lay thee before kings, they may behold thee. That when we go into it, that happened to the actual, island of Tyrus. Because when you look at Tyrus, over there in the Mediterranean, it was a rich port. It was known for the purple, that it made. Because that's a rare to make the color purple. It's a very rare process. That's why if you was able to, own the resource to make purple, you became very wealthy. Even in the scriptures, it talk about one of the sisters that helped the church, how she was a maker of purple, in Rome. But Tyrus was real rich, similar to America. Even when you look at the landmass, it looked like America and Canada put together, But they was real wealthy, and they was fortified, around the outside, and it was very hard to penetrate, But Alexander, he eventually took down Tyrus, But in the spirit, what is it speaking of now? America, which is what? That rich port, Go ahead.
Thou hast defiled thy sanctuary by the multitude of thine iniquities, by the iniquity of thy traffic.
Yep.
Therefore will I bring forth a fire.
The sanctuary is talking about the land, the traffic, such as drugs and people. Human trafficking, all right?
For that word
Like,
traffic, it say traded.
Trading, all right? So we talk about, these niggas talk about trafficking now. Shit, we've been got fucking traffic up in here. How did we get here?
The
By
global slave traffic was trafficking.
That's it.
Human trafficking.
It's human trafficking, man.
In the book of Revelation, I want to say the 18, talking about the soul of slaves.
Yep.
That's right.
So like the possession of slaves.
So it's like,
That means he had us in his possession.
Right.
Yeah.
How the scripture states, until this day.
To this day.
Until this day.
And the biggest shipments come on ships,
know, because a plane can only carry so much. You know, the biggest shipments, like the cars and things that come from these other nations, they come on ships.
That's why they call it shipping and handling. Originally it came from ships.
Yeah.
It says, it shall devour thee, and I will bring thee to ashes upon the earth in the sight of all them that behold thee.
Nuclear fire. Ashes. Okay, being grown low. Go ahead, man.
So you made a point. You brought out a scripture where it said, you're going to destroy her and sin against the Most High. That was part of that sin too.
That's right.
Having the 12 tribes into your possession.
That's right, bro.
That's what made you Egypt.
That's right.
Egypt had the 12 tribes in its possession. You know?
Yeah.
It's part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And just like Esau does with these sex trafficking, slaves and stuff, how they turn them out. Well, look how they turned out our people, man. Look at us now.
Spiritual.
Yeah, spiritual fornication. Through what? Trafficking. All right? Yeah, go back.
Back, it's back in Revelation 18:2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, it's become the habitation of devils, and the hole of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
It's post-destruction. Go ahead.
For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
Meaning what all nations has got in the bed of America and became defiled. All right, they left their wife, meaning what their culture became assimilated through the influence of America.
Feminists,
Yeah.
you know?
So-called democracy,
Yep.
Christianity, you know. And look at I don't mean to cut you off, but look at how Asia, goddamn, has actually conformed to the image. It's spoken of in not Revelation, but Second Ezra, the 15th chapter and the 16th chapter. Hey, these niggas don't want to be like Mike; they want to be like Edom.
Hey, they showed that transition in the movie The Last Samurai.
That's right.
Yeah, they showed that transition of the Japanese transitioning to the Western ways,
right.
building a railroad system, having that particular type of machine gun.
That's it. That's it.
It's wrong fucking way. I'm sorry.
I did Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon has been a golden cup.
Right, golden cup. Cup means what? Portion or lot or assignment. Golden, that top position in wickedness to lead these other nations to error, man. That's how you break that down. Go ahead.
And the Most High hand.
In the Most High's hand, meaning what? He designed it to be this way. He didn't make America to be that heaven for Israelites. All right, that's why when you go into the term America, it goes into what? Mara, which means what? Bitter. Okay? Well, what did Naomi say? Don't call me no more Naomi. Call me Amara. Why? Because the Most High has dealt bitter with me. So he's brought us where? To America or to the Americas because he was going to deal bitter with us, man.
That made all the earth drunken. The nation has drunken of her wine.
So what she do? She bring you to her house. All right, she gives you that bottle. She gets you hot. You watch your clothes. Now you in the bed with her. You know, now you like Usher. You make me want to leave the one I'm with. You know, because
Leave my culture.
Yeah, leave my culture. It's all symbolic talk, man. You want to say something? Yeah, it was. I got one real quick. I do a video on them.
I'm sorry. All right, go ahead.
Therefore the nation will made.
Therefore, why? Because basically it's no gain. It's no profit. All right?
They showed in Jamaica not too long ago, a couple months ago. They pretty much they want to let go of that homosexuality, man. That shows more proof how these nations being angry because of that wine and wrath and fornication of America, man. That Babylonian wine goes to that westernization. It's poisoning these other nations. Now they done left off their old ancient customs. Now they follow after that great whore. It's becoming poisonous and toxic to them now, you know?
Is it China or North Korea? They were like that too. If you have a man that's kind of like China on that metro side, they can no longer be on TV anymore, man.
That's beautiful.
What's happening, like just with a, actual woman in the harlot, you deal with the harlot for pleasure, but the harlot she can't nourish a household.
Nah.
So it was good for those, that temporary pleasure. But when it comes to raising a household, the harlot, that's not what she's built to do.
Right.
She can't nurture children.
That's
Just like
right.
the philosophies of America, they don't nurture children. They don't bring up a household. They don't bring up the next generation.
They can't cultivate your nation.
Yep.
Which means what? Develop.
Develop.
Right, develop. Hey, so when you deal with a harlot, you're supposed to what? Live for the moment.
Yep.
You don't invest in no harlot.
And that's how you know modern women are harlots, because you broke down the word modern.
That's right.
For the moment.
For the
now,
moment,
wow.
just now.
It goes back to that old saying, you can't make a hoe
A housewife.
So
Yep.
America's
Yeah,
a hoe.
hoe.
Yep. And easy come, easy go.
Easy come, easy go.
Yep. Okay.
It was even on fire.
Man, y'all been
We'll
on
come
fire.
back from Dallas.
Hey, Proverbs 5:3. For the lips of a strange woman drops as a honeycomb,
Jump in there, man.
and her mouth is smoother than butter.
It's sweet. It sounds good because America come to these nations, and make these different deals, with Ishmael, like the petrodollar. They told Ishmael, look, only accept the American dollar for your oil, and we'll give you these arms. We'll give you these resources, military resources. But then you seen Trump, how he was handling, those crown princes over there. He told them, look, if we leave you for 2 weeks, you wouldn't make it. You would have been dead, man, if it wasn't for us. Then they tell Saudi Arabia how much oil to sell and how much to sell it for, man. You see? So the deal sounded sweet, but now this man run you, man.
That's right, bro.
Hey, trace him back to Gad. You know what I'm saying? You see when Esau came over here, I didn't show you pictures in those historical books. How he have his hand on Gad like that. Those enticing words, speaking sweet words to him, man. What did it say? The water was in his heart.
Yep.
The feminist movement, it sounds like you get equal pay, all right? You don't have to listen to him, You can go file for divorce, You can be a politician. It sounded sweet, but now the women hate they hate these jobs.
That's right.
All right? They alone, bitter, single mother,
Hey, since you said that, I was in Chicago road together, and I had heard a commercial when I was on my way to pick him up, and it was pushing feminism.
Yeah.
That's what the commercial stated. How do you push forward, per se, with the women by breaking traditions? You push forward by breaking traditions.
That's breaking that righteous standard.
Yeah.
The Most High set up. Man.
Going into what, Jeremiah 3, how the woman shall compass the man?
It's a new thing in the earth.
So-called progressionalism.
That's right.
Progression. Create the narrative that to move forward is actually right.
That's right.
In the traditional way is regressive. I had a precept for that. Proverbs 31:30. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain.
Yep, favor is
Can I
deceitful.
make one point? And that's why the nations are mad.
Yeah.
Right now they got the favor, but it's deceitful.
Yeah.
Back on you, boy.
Yeah, they're like, with all Esau philosophy, man. Christianity, it was a doctrine where pretty much ain't no law, ain't no standard. And it seemed like you can be forgiven for everything, but it was deceitful because now you raise generations of people, all right, they have no standards.
You look up that word favor just to build on what you're saying. It goes back to charm.
Yep.
So the philosophy is charming.
Yep.
It's charming. It's enticing.
Look at the people that get to teach it. Those pastors with that charisma. It's a charm, man. The music industry, it was a charm. Because coming up, you thought for sure that you was gonna be, this famous, artist, man. All right, but they don't tell you about the 99% that don't make it. All right, they just hype up, like everybody can be in that 1 percentile, man.
Yeah.
It was charming, but then now, invested all this time into trying to be a rapper or athlete. Now you're an adult male, with no trades, man.
That's right, bro. That's right.
It was charming, but it was deceitful, man.
That's right. And look at our household.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Look at the household. Look at how the aftermath of following the ways of Esau has destroyed us as being a people, man.
Yep.
But when you think about these other races like Moab, Ammon, Edom, Ishmael, and so on and so forth, their household is in order.
Then you look at the drug game. Esau pushed the drug game. He publicized it so much. Starting with Superfly. you know, you thought you could go, you know, you thought you could leave your couch, you know, and hit the block and be Frank Lucas by next month,
That's
man.
right, bro.
You know, it was charming,
Yeah.
but it was deceitful,
That's
man.
right. Yeah.
You know?
Black culture.
Yeah.
Black culture at its finest.
And you made a beautiful point. You know, you grew up in hip hop culture. The overstimulation of the promise of being a street nigga, it overshadows getting a trade.
Yeah.
So now you 30 with no trade,
Yeah.
and it's like, but you're still a 20-year-old Edomite that know how to build a house from the ground up.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
Same thing with Eve. The promise of being a queen on the internet, you know, having so many male prospects is very promising. But now you 30 with no family, no children. If you got children, they're bastards.
No wife skills.
No wife skills. Your eggs drying up.
Get that wall.
I think you about to hit the wall, and now you face to compete with women who like 21.
And the reason why they're so bitter, because in their spirit, you know, they're not playing their designed role by the Most High.
Yep.
Think about it.
Yep.
That's why they're still on edge. Okay, so they made it to the top. Now you finally done made it as what you call it, running these 500 Fortune companies. But yeah, the CEOs. But now at the end of the day, your role that the Most High created you to be in, you don't have that. But in your spirit, you're crying out.
And anytime you're not attuned with what the Most High made you to be, you're gonna be bitter, man.
That's right, bro.
You're gonna be unfulfilled.
That's right.
Like these the most liberal, the most richest women in this generation compared to past generations. These the most horrible and miserable women that we're living in now. You know?
Because they don't have kids, and most every woman want a kid. But they put they real over everything. You know, it's a lot of women in scripture. They want to bring yeah, for their husband. You know, that's right. So for them not to have that, hey, look. Y'all got everything fucked up. Y'all got the whole world fucked up. And y'all love
Y'all all right.
Yeah, good, bro.
This Psalm 113 and 9, it says, He maketh the barren woman to keep house and to be a joyful mother of children. Praise ye the Lord.
That's the role of a woman. All right, but what Esau did was he destroyed our nation by setting our slave free, which is Eve. All right, because a woman is our possession. All right, don't get it wrong. I mean, she has a strong significance within our culture, but at the same time frame, the woman was designed to serve us like we were created to serve the Most High.
You said it right, man. Women need servant.
Yes.
Everybody benefits. Hey, cause even on that BMF series, you had Meech's brother T, and his baby mama. You know, she would lie to the police for him. She would lie to his parents for him. When he was real young, like 15, and you know his parents would hack him like where he get the beans from, and she'll lie. You know, like, yeah, my uncle got me this. But she told him some shit that made sense. You know, that was in wickedness, but it made sense. She was like, look, I'll lie for you. I'll do this for you because I know if you win, the whole family wins. You know? But that's really how it's supposed to be unrighteously because everybody benefits from being in order. If the man serves Yahushua, all right, Yahushua benefits off that because what? His energy goes throughout the earth. All right, and that benefits the Most High because Yahushua, all right, he comes in the stead of his father, and the man is blessed by Yahushua, and then what? The woman has more resources now. So everybody wins off being good. Everybody benefits off being in order.
Team players, man.
See, Esau pushing like only the man wins. You know, like multiple women. Oh, that's just lust.
Yeah.
You know, everybody wins. When you in order, everybody wins.
Everybody eats.
Most High has it set up perfectly, man.
Count that goal, man.
You know?
It's a nation building. Our laws, our ways are nation oriented. It ain't man oriented. It's nation oriented, man.
That's right. But meanwhile, Esau tell us that shit that his household knew it.
She
You know what I'm
respects
saying?
him.
She respects him.
And none of the Rothschild women have anything to do with the family business.
No.
You know?
They don't even sit at the table when they discussing their business, man.
Tasha brought up about that golden cup. This Habakkuk 2, 15. Woe to him that give his neighbor drink.
And that's what Esau does. All right, through philosophies. All right, through his college system. You know, go ahead.
Babylonian wine.
Right. Westernization.
That puttest thy bottle to him.
His policies. You know. So what now?
Thou puttest thy bottle to him.
In the form of a bottle format. All right.
And making him drunken also.
Meaning what? The more you listen to it, the more you become influenced, the more your mind is governed to do just like the so-called white man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That thou mayest look on their nakedness.
Meaning what? Their shame, their sin. Go ahead.
Thou art filled with shame for glory.
Right.
Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered.
Meaning what? What goes around comes around. All right. And it's being brought to the forefront that you are the wicked and how you have led these other nations into error. How you have deceived the world. All right. How you're trying to eradicate the nation of Israel of the face of the earth to receive their birthright back.
Remember that Jake on C-SPAN years ago? The dreads? He said it's like, this be like the only way, only solution. When you talking about pretty much getting rid of Esau Edom, man. You know?
Oh yeah, the only solution.
But that man really, he said, well, I done thought about it. I done thought about it. He said the only way is to get him out the way.
It says,
show you that this is the highest level of wisdom.
the cup of the Lord's right hand should be turned unto thee through the prophets. You know? And shameful spirit should be on thy glory.
Shameful spewing. What? Meaning, when you look up that term, spewing in a vomit-like format, in a vomit-like fashion, meaning what? The Most High is going to bring so much information on the wickedness of Esau. It's just going to, it's coming at a fast rate. He can't stop it. You know, when you punch so many people, I mean, when a person is punching you, and you have this person, that person, in so many hands, you can't block anymore. And that's what's going on, man. Shameful spewing on America. Hey, that dress being lifted up.
He's not gonna get shoot like on playing club.
Yeah. You're going to be pushing on the nuclear missiles.
Barney Fife.
I had this, somebody could tie into the spirit. All right, Sirach 31:31. This is literal, but it can also be applied spiritually. Rebuke not thy neighbor at the wine, and despise not him in his mirth. Give him no despiteful words, and press not upon him with urging him to drink. And you know how the scripture says, woe to him to put the bottle in his mouth.
He forcing
Yeah, drink this philosophy. You know?
Now what he gonna do? He gonna bring gunplay in.
Yeah, because even like if a woman wants to see government benefits, she has to put, baby father on child support.
Yeah.
So he forced you to, if you want to receive any type of benefit, you gotta play by his rules.
Yep. You want to receive housing authority, you got to kick the man out the household.
Yep. So he forced that. He forced, like I said, we the only nation of people that have apartments full of single women. Yep.
That's facts.
Single mothers, man. No other nation had projects and apartments full of single mothers, man.
They bitter as hell.
Hey, Out of Time. I did a video on Out of Time. It was a clip. And guess what the guy stated? He stated that you want to know the reason why taxes and prices go up. You know what I'm saying? Like in the ghetto, because basically we're trying to kill out many people as we can. That's the reason why the cost of living keep rising, to kill out many people as we can. And they said that in a movie. With Justin Timberlake, Out of Time.
Oh, In Time.
In Time, my bad. In Time. In Time.
Yeah, and those targeted. In every elite type movie, they target the poor.
Wow.
Elysium, man.
Yeah. Elysium means what? Paradise. For who? Esau.
Who the fuck do you think Yahweh Shai is coming for? All these so-called UFOs, who the fuck do you think they're coming to deliver?
Who is this coming from?
Yeah. Going back to Yahweh Shai was dealing with us, like the publicans and the sinners. Who do you think he's delivering us from? What clutch of power are we under that an external force has to come and deliver us, man? All right, because in every way, Esau has to where in every facet of existence, he's killing us, man.
In Matthew 5:5, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth.
And you look at the word meek, it goes into afflicted. We're afflicted. Most of the reason most Jakes are in prison because they broke. Because it's basically because Edomites go to jail, Edomites do dumb shit, but they usually have somebody to bail them out statistically, man.
Yeah.
But statistically, the average Israelite that goes to jail, he can't afford bail money.
Right. And Jake is placed in that environment, and he's trying to do whatever to get up out that motherfucker.
That's why Jake called it the trap. You know what I'm saying? Because you in a trap, that pit, that system, you do by what any means to get out of that situation for you and your family.
I'm just gonna say this before we get back to the scriptures. Esau created a nigga. Esau generated a nigga.
He did.
He know the science of not having a father in the household. He knows what happens when you drop drugs, poverty, guns, you infiltrate their culture,
Separation of families.
separation of families. But he knows what he created those systems that produce niggas. And then he gives you a reward, because I know you have your own psychology. He gives you a reward for desired behavior. Why he give these niggas record deals for being niggas,
That's
man?
right, that's right. Hey, which proves that this has to be a satanic vibration. This is the only kingdom in the world where you can do wicked and receive rewards.
Yep. Only one.
Only one.
You a bad, bad ruler, man.
The wise king.
Isaiah chapter 30, verse 7. For the Egyptians shall help in vain and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this. Their strength is to sit still. Now, it's basically, they attempt to help Jake, but really it ain't going nowhere.
Yep.
Like with the jab,
Yep.
Jake taking the jab, but it's not benefiting them.
That's still a nigga.
Yeah.
You know?
So get back in Revelation 18. So back in Revelation 18:3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her
And
delicacy.
that's another way these countries became rich.
Yeah.
Because of basically selling their merchandise to America.
Yep.
Who's
Okay?
that main merchandise? Us.
Yeah,
Us.
that's it. That's it. That's the reason why your kingdom is so great here. You had a hell of a head start. Free labor, man. I
Millions
think,
of hours of it.
yeah, I think it was like 100 million hours, which is equated to $100 trillion, man. And that was back then.
And then you had the best people. You had the strongest, the smartest. So of course you benefited off having the best, people in captivity, the most quality of a human. Like nobody has a higher ceiling than Israel, than the Israelite man, especially. But no one has a higher ceiling than the Israelite man. Like the potential of an Israelite man way surpasses the potential of any other man. So Esau benefit on having the best breed of slaves.
That's right.
And before he got the best breed of slaves, he got to a land and just took it. I mean, they had bow and arrows and you had guns. And you just took it. So you got land with free resources. Then, like you said, you brought the best slaves to cultivate that land for you.
Right. But you niggas protesting this shit.
You still vote for a president. Biden or Trump?
Catch up.
Yeah, man.
Verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins.
Also being beaten up in those chariots, man. All right, come out of her, my people. And you can also utilize Isaiah 26 and 20. Go ahead.
Also, the Thessalonians said should be a shout.
Yeah, yeah.
And that ye receive not of her plagues.
Which is what going into nuclear destruction. Go ahead.
For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh Bashim Shai remembered her iniquities.
Meaning what? This is the allotted time, the last straw that America has before the Most High destroys.
So you get daily reports from the angels that says that the eyes of the Lord 10,000 times brighter than the sun. So they're reporting constantly on all the wrongdoings in America. Injustices. Yep. Then you hear the daily cries from the holy prophets, man. You know what I'm saying? Like back in ancient Egypt, Most High said, I heard the cry of the oppression of my people, man. So that, when we back in New Egypt again now, the Most High hearing those same cries. So that's how you get constantly remembered of America's iniquities, you know? Constantly get reminded day by day. Angels will continue reporting to you, man. So you're going to be getting tired hearing that, it's like we spiritually nagging you, how about you not shot? So that's when the Most High, he's going to get that green light, as it says, this is the acceptable year of the Lord, going to their approved time. This is going to be the acceptable year that the Heavenly Father Yahweh says for Yahweh Shai, man.
The scripture states give them no rest.
Give it no rest.
And that's what I pretty much said, like, about 8, 9 years ago, when some people signed that homosexual act, they can get married. He basically said, y'all sign y'all death wish. Y'all sins it reach to the top.
And that's what happened to pagan Rome. When pagan Rome actually implemented that lifestyle, it went down faster. Man.
Exactly. Man,
That's right. That's right.
And decadent goes back to decaying Roman
You
Empire.
can't make this up.
And then you go into that music, it says the Romans' music became more sensual and more degrading. It just went straight into sex. So before it went down, the music and every form of entertainment, it went basically into debauchery.
In the form of what now? Rap.
Rap,
Look
yeah.
at what rap talk about. I want to fuck you and
Yeah,
all that
yeah.
type of shit. And R&B. That's right.
This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 10. And child deal shall be a spoil, and all that spoil her shall be satisfied, said the Lord, Yahweh by Shema Shai. Because you were glad, because you rejoiced, O you destroyers of my heritage.
American is also what modern day Chaldea. Go ahead.
And it says, O you destroyers of my heritage, because you are grown fat as the heifer at grass.
Off of slavery. Off of slavery.
And free land.
exactly. Think about the New York Stock Exchange. Who was the first stock?
That's
The
right.
Negroes were, man.
That's right.
Stock market.
Yeah, all these luxurious colleges, institutions, man. That came out from the slave. It's in the blood, sweat, and tears of so-called Negroes, right, bro?
And like that one saying, we was watching that Viking show, and what did he want? He wanted land and wealth. So I want wealth and silver. Esau got that, land and silver. He got that with the 12 tribes.
That's right, bro.
He got the land, he got the silver, and he got the labor.
That's right.
You know?
They got the right to call us
Lazy.
Been working all the time.
Okay.
Tired.
So he tired, boss.
And bellow is bulls.
Want to add to it, bro?
Yeah, Esau, you've been eating. He's pretty much, he was put in an opportunity because he's one thing, to become rich, our resources. But see, the elder brother in London, Elder Prior Corn, made the point. The reason why Esau was able to capitalize so much off slavery because he did it with no mercy. Like, you work till you die. He got the full maximum, potential, off of each slave, man. Working the muscle out off their bone. All right, you had in the West Indies, over in the Central South America, you had the Portuguese, and they would work 44-hour shifts, man. Because when they picked the sugar cane, it had like 2 days before, it would start going bad. So they had to pick it one day and then process it the next day, man. So they were working 44-hour shifts. That's why the reason why, they had to go get a lot of the Southern Kingdom, because the average life expectancy of the Northern Kingdom, during their captivity was like 21, 22 years old.
Right.
I came across a passage. They was talking about with so-called Puerto Ricans. They were working in those gold mines. They was nearly dying from exhaustion. You know what I'm saying?
That's what you call cost effective. You don't spend no money.
Yeah.
You know? Okay.
Isaiah 14:11. That pump, that pop, that pump is brought down to the grave.
Your pride. Grave is what? A low condition. Right? So your pride is going to be brought down to a very extremely low condition. Yo.
And the noise of thy voice, the worm is spread under thee. And
What is a worm? A worm is a destroying mechanism. Look at America's infrastructure. All right, it's no longer A+. Hell, just a couple years ago, it was what, D? So it's going to continue to wax worse and worse, man.
Morality.
Yep, the morality.
Going back to decadent Rome. Decays.
Yep.
The worms, they decay.
Yep. Damn.
So either it's physical or morally in every aspect.
Right.
We had a transformer. All right. Dual threat, dual threat quarterback. All right. Just raped the girl in the school bathroom. All right. A man put a skirt on and went to the bathroom at school and just raped the girl. And not only did he rape her, he sodomized her.
That'd be easy.
And then they took her daddy to jail for speaking about it in the parent teacher conference. Yeah, they drug him out of there. And then the nigga, I think he went to juvenile, but he got out again and went to another school and did the same thing.
Oh, he was a J.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
Oh, okay, you said a nigga. Well, it could be Esau.
Yeah,
Esau
Esau,
a nigga.
original
Yeah,
nigga.
yeah.
Original nigga.
Oh, the niggas?
No, yeah.
But yeah, that's going to what? That decay, man. And there's no uproar. You know, but you throw a Hebrew prayer up on YouTube, then, you know, it's medical misinformation.
So that's just more proof through the spirit how the seed of confusion is being broken down. We bring it out from a spiritual aspect, economical aspect. You know, you have a morally aspect, and very soon physical. You know?
And the worms is spread under thee, and the worms covered thee.
That's right, bro. So this is the fall of America, man. So back in Revelation 18, and start at verse 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works.
Right.
And the cup which she had filled to her double.
Right.
How much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment
She's
is
been on top for a very long time, man. So this is the recompense coming from Yahweh, Hashem al-Shah. You gotta reap what you sow, bro. Hell, if Yahweh Shah got it the way he got it, shit, think about what's gonna happen to Esau. Starting with America.
Right. It says, how much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she said in her heart, I sit a queen.
Meaning what? That she would never be destroyed. She will always be on top, forever young.
And am no widow and shall see no sorrow.
Why? Because basically war has never took place on the grounds of America. All right, everything that has happened has been what? False flags.
This is Ezekiel 38 and 11. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages.
Right.
I will.
Meaning what? That's what's going to happen is these missiles are going to be able to penetrate that what you call it? That missile defense system, man. All right. So it's nothing that Esau can do to protect his landmass.
Yeah, that virgin daughter of Babylon about to get popped.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It says, I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely.
America.
Exactly.
All right, because these fucking Americans think that, hey, we have the best army, we got the best weaponry, we got the best soldiers. Hey, you seen them niggas from North Korea, man? Oh my God.
Like they saying, run through brick walls.
Bro, these guys are breaking glass on the ground, laying on the glass, and then shit, they'll put like fucking what, cement blocks on them. They getting goddamn sledgehammers and fucking breaking the block over them, and they getting nothing out of mark on them. Breaking bricks with their heads.
But you know what though? Their king breeds them for warfare.
Yeah.
See, the king of Babylon that breed these Americans for warfare.
Comfort.
The comfort, man. This comfort makes a man soft.
Yeah, yeah.
Those kings over there, you raise those men for warfare, man.
Those are soldiers.
Those are soldiers.
Soldiers.
That's the mind frame people of the citizens. Because I remember when North Korea was testing them missiles and Trump was making them threats, he parked them aircraft carriers. He parked them over there by North Korea, and the Korean citizen was like, "Look, if we go to war, they were like, I'm gonna leave my job." So I'm gonna leave my job and we're going to war. Those are the citizens. That wasn't even the men that we were seeing on the little clip. The citizen was like, look, I'm gonna leave my job, we're going to war. You know? America ain't coming in their energy, man. America is relying on their technology, man. One thing about technology, because you work these jobs and everything just get automated, that shit fail, man.
And it handicaps you.
That shit fails. Like ain't nothing like that original. You know, that manpower, ain't nothing like this shit. Like this, it's cute while they're running, but that shit, it's so much moving parts that it's easy for that shit to malfunction, man.
And when it stops, the money stops being made.
Yep.
You know?
It says, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely.
Yep.
All of them dwelling without walls, having neither bars nor gates.
Yep. Unprotected. These places unprotected. It's gonna be unprotected militarily. It's gonna be unprotected spiritually, you know, and it's gonna be unprotected, you know, domestically, man. You see, the police force, all right, due to these mandates is thinning out, all right. Everything is thinning out. This place is gonna be. You got over, I think 60,000 troops that haven't took it, as opposed to taking it 2 weeks. Then you got only 40% of the National Guard that took it, you know. So when these deadlines start hitting, man, hey, just prepare to see a new America, man. That's right. You know.
And you see Esau pushing the mainstream news with the Southwest Airlines, but really that's going into how these different pilots they not taking the vaccine mandates, they're not adhering to it.
And there's some more shit to that too. You know, I'm gonna go into on other platform, but I'm just tell you, brothers, sisters, this man, I wouldn't fly right now. You know, I wouldn't take no flights.
Yep. I think Amtrak, they being on board doing the same thing. All these different employees for these different corporations, they don't want to adhere to these vaccine mandates, man. You know. So like this back in Revelation 18, it's on verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord power who judgeth her. You know?
They showing you that the man's going is like Yahweh Shema Shai. So when these other nations, execute the missiles on America, that's Yahweh Shema Shai pushing their buttons for the judgment of Babylon, man, and her wrongdoing, man. Is there more to that?
And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her.
That's the bewailing.
And that's the post-destruction.
Post-destruction.
And lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning.
Yep.
It's going to be well televised on, on the news, man.
Right.
And we saw that with 9/11. That was just like one particular city, just what, 2 buildings.
Yep.
You know? So how much more a whole United States?
And it traumatized the country.
It did, you know.
Literally the world.
You think about your money source being cut off.
And that was the World Trade Center. World Trade. You know?
Yep.
Foreshadow.
Verse 10, standing far off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
And see, these merchants, they're upset because now they're thinking about their livelihood. They're not being spiritual about it. They're looking at their lick has been destroyed.
Your Marilyn Monroe is dead.
Right.
She can't pass for you no more.
Man, bro.
Your bottom hoe.
Yeah, man.
Plug gone.
Plug on.
Plug gone. See, when you don't have a plug, that makes you resourceful.
American number of clientele to these other nations.
Import.
There's number of clientele, so you can't survive with no clientele, man.
And that started with Bush, not Bush, but fucking Reagan, went through Clinton with NAFTA. And they outsourced all these jobs.
Free trade agreement.
Yeah, that free trade agreement, man.
Hey, beautiful. You pop. And with that, we hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Once again, we want to give our honor and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kamdash.
double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of the great millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the house of David the elect. Bible, Shalom.
Shalom.
How about my shalom? Shalom. I'm walking like his motherfucker.